Firstly, to start, that it's a real pleasure for me and my colleague from Bulgaria to be part of this very proficient forum. In the last day and a half since I'm here, I learned a lot about the challenges you have in the sector. I have to express my gratitude about the context of the program. And for us as a neighboring country, and for me as a part of the business consultancy in this field, having developed some cross-border project with some of my partners here, especially in agro-food business, I'm delighted that you have such a fruitful discussions about the funding from the EU for the sector. You're putting on the table the real issues. You managed to involve in this venue all the stakeholders from academia to the business, and of course the top government and international funding and local institutions, something that we in Bulgaria somehow are lacking. Cities are centers of economic activity and innovation are on the front line of the transition. They are themselves responsible for up to 70% of greenhouse gas emissions, 2/3 of total energy demand, and 50% of the waste. They must therefore play a central role in implementing the circular economy solution to maximize impact. Local governments manage a number of key sectors in urban areas with the potential to become circular, such as transport and waste management, and are ultimately responsible for controlling land use and urban planning, key levers for enabling the circular economy. The circular economy is a complex system. There is no single solution that will work for all cities and regions. As the circular economy continues to grow in popularity, we can expect to see more innovative solutions to waste management problems, especially in rising needs for regenerative resource management and use of wastewaters as a resource in cities and regions. We shall highlight the crucial role of the local government play in the transition to a circular economy and how much they need to be supported in this process. We can also stress on the most important trends and challenges related. While cities continue to take significant steps to implement the circular economy, progress is admittedly varied between cities and it's limited overall in comparison to the systematic change that is needed to the full transition away from the prevailing linear economy, something that we observed recently. I'll highlight on 4 distinct yet interrelated challenges facing the cities: capacity and resource limitations, lack of political leadership, measuring circularity, and limitations that come from an economy that is still predominantly linear. Collective action on all challenges is necessary to accelerate the circular economy transition and to identify priority actions and opportunity areas to direct these collective efforts of cities. The involvement of wider system actors, including policy institutions, academia, and other interested stakeholders, organizations, in order to best mobilize their resources, something that we hear today and observe it. So how to support the implementation of circular systematic solutions in cities and regions? A question that will probably remain until we find it, but we need to work towards. Firstly, I'll outline the building institutional knowledge. Something to share from Bulgaria, it's very, very difficult. Building institutional knowledge on key issues requires continued awareness raising and capacity building activities in city administrations. Ultimately, cities still face some difficulties in engaging with local stakeholders and with all other levels of government, in particular on circular economy. A circular economy extends beyond city boundaries and municipal competences. Multi-stakeholder engagement is a necessity that must be improved upon in order to achieve greater scale of circularity, create a sense of shared ownership, and develop cycles, and to take advantage of further opportunities. Another prevailing issue is to secure political support, something that you already mentioned to talk about, and you had heavy discussions in the last 2 days. The interconnected economic, social, and environmental drivers of the circular economy for cities are increasingly being understood, but a shift is still needed to ensure a more integrated governance approach, improving cross-organizational collaboration. We need to strengthen top levels commitment in cities, reaching political support and overcome the limited interest or understanding and underestimating of circular economy opportunities among the elected officials as a key hurdle. While new holistic upstream solutions and systems are needed to be tested and trailed, there may be still a political preference to favor more visible action, more linear actions that are in the political agenda in front of the circular economy opportunities. We definitely need to tackle the capacity and resource limitations. Another key challenge for circular cities identified across this is the capacity and resource limitations. There is a need for additional resources regarding staff, skills, and knowledge, as well as financing. Land and infrastructure are also a major challenge when it comes to implementing the circular economy, speaking of cities and regions. The lack of capacities in these key areas undermine not only the day-to-day implementation of circular programs and actions, but also impairs the prioritization of more impactful and systematic solutions. The next issue I want to outline is the lack of formal action plan or roadmap for the circular economy. No formal action plan or roadmap for the circular economy are present in many cities. Yes, some first steps are being taken in this direction. Some cities start working towards the roadmap or circular economy policy. The municipal circular economy strategy should be transversal, relating to the entire local community, but with particular emphasis on the operation of municipal services linked to the urban planning, construction, water, and urban waste sectors. To enable the circulation of materials at their highest value, local governments require more dedicated staff with a broader set of skills and greater knowledge regarding a multitude of material value chain, including construction, food, water, and plastics. Cities are setting up separate collection scheme, yes, for bio-waste. They are building up their valorization capacities, they are making local food system more regenerative. Ultimately, cities are using biofertilizers and soil improves in their own green spaces, which produces secondary soil for use in urban gardens, landscaping, and construction. And on some occasions, they make it available to citizens or farmers nearby cities. Here again, many challenges subsist, but this example shows that local government have a crucial role to play to relocalize waste management systems and make them more regenerative. Additionally, since implementing circular solutions asks for greater collaboration between public and private stakeholders, critical skills such as facilitating, conveying stakeholders, effective communication, convincement, and collaboration will be increasingly required by local governments. For cities, staffing of skills barriers, financing of intervention remain a huge obstacle. Budgetary pressures is a key challenge for moving ahead from strategy to implementation. Measuring circularity is a key issue, from data collection to monitoring framework. The challenge here relates to monitoring and assessing circularity. This includes the available data collection, identification, and access, developing suitable indicators and metrics, both citywide and for individual products, as well as measuring and evaluating the co-benefits of action with other challenges. For example, environmental and social indicators of the implementation of the monitoring framework. Upscaling circularity, a very important issue for me. Despite considerable investments, present gap in fundamental infrastructure is essential, absolutely essential, for upscaling the circulation of material and must be highlighted as another major issue faced by the public authorities everywhere, especially in Bulgaria. For example, when it comes to the organic material loop, attaining adequate farmland to carry out regenerative food production, there is a real challenge for the local authorities and the municipal companies. Biological treatment infrastructure for organic mineral treatment also require available land and high initial investment cost, not easily attained and easy to plan and ensure. Thinking circular in a linear system, something we need to fighting and working on. The structural barriers born out of the existing linear take-make waste economy rationale, which can only be resolved through a systematic transformation, how we produce, consume, regenerate. Innovation often requires an evolution of the regulatory framework. For business, and in particular for SMEs, there is a limited awareness about alternative, yet about the profitability of circular business models. Last but not least, a topic you talk a lot about is appropriate financial incentives and advisory support. Nevertheless, there is a lack of appropriate financial incentives and advisory support for the private investment in circular business model. High cost and the economic feasibility of the alternative business models remain the main barrier for consumers and business in this transition to the circularity. Existing funding streams such as EU Horizon, for example, EU Horizon Europe, are mostly project-based, supporting demonstration or pilot, but seldom they are upscaling the project works or operations ahead. Ultimately, these barriers call for a paradigm to shift towards a circular economy. Such a shift cannot be achieved just by individual actors only. National governments and EU institutions play and will play an important role in setting up the preconditions and the directions of this change. The EU Circular Economy Action Plan clearly indicates that a better integration of the urban wastewater sector with the circular economy is needed. This is particularly relevant to sewage sludge directive, which regulates the use of sewage sludge in agriculture and has implications for the soil health proposal announced at the EU Soil Strategy for 2030. Thank you for your attention.